Most journaling advice will tell you to write pages upon pages each morning. But what if the secret isn't writing more, writing smarter? I'm Adam Smith. I've been writing for 17 years now. During that time, I've tried every journaling method you can imagine. The morning pages that took an hour, the elaborate bullet journal spreads that require artistic skills I don't have, the gratitude lists that felt forced after the first week. I abandoned more journals than I care to admit, not because I didn't want to journal, but because I couldn't sustain the time commitment. Then something changed. I discovered a routine so simple, so efficient, that I've stuck with it for over a year now. And it's genuinely transformed how I think, work, and approach my days. Today I'm going to walk you through this exact 10-minute outline. Let me be honest about why most journaling advice doesn't work for regular people. The typical advice tells you to journal for 30 minutes to an hour every morning, to write 3 full pages of stream of consciousness thought, to maintain elaborate tracking systems with color spreads. That might work if you're retired or have infinite mornings. For the rest of us juggling work, family, and life, it's not realistic. But here's what bothered me even more than the time commitment: the lack of structure, staring at a blank page every morning, trying to fill it with whatever comes to mind, often left me writing the same circular thoughts over and over. I wasn't just gaining clarity, I was just venting without direction. Research from the University of Texas actually backs this up. James Panabaker, a psychologist who studied the journaling for decades, found that simply venting emotions without structure doesn't provide the same cognitive benefits as guided, purposeful writing. The people who benefited most from journaling were those who organized their thoughts and made meaning from their experiences. Not those who just dumped everything onto the page. I needed something different, something that wouldn't take half of my morning, but would actually help me think more clearly. Before I share the routine, let me tell you what convinced me that journaling was worth figuring out. The research on journaling is actually remarkable. Studies have found that people who journal regularly show up to a 25% improvement in working memory capacity. That's a mental space you use to hold information while you're actively thinking about it. Think about that. The simple act of writing down your thoughts literally frees up mental bandwidth. A study from Michigan State University found that the students who journaled about negative experiences before an exam performed more efficiently and used fewer brain resources during the test compared to those who didn't journal at all. The researchers suggested that writing helps your brain offload worries, clearing out mental clutter, so you can focus on what matters. The physical health benefits are even more surprising. Multiple studies have shown that people who journal regularly take fewer sick days and show improved immune function. One research review documented that participants who journaled for just 20 minutes a day over 3 to 5 sessions showed measurable improvements in immune response. There is also compelling evidence for mental health benefits. A systematic review found that journaling can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety by 20 to 45% when done consistently for at least a month. The keyword there is consistently. That's what made me realize the benefits aren't from writing a novel every morning. The benefits come from regular structured reflection, which meant I needed a routine I could actually maintain. Here's the routine that changed everything for me. It has 3 parts and takes exactly 10 minutes. Part 1, yesterday review, 3 minutes. Part 2, today focus, 4 minutes. Part 3, one learning, 3 minutes. That's it, 10 minutes total. I do this first thing in the morning, usually with my coffee before I check my messages or email. The beauty of this structure is that it's comprehensive without being overwhelming. You're processing the past, planning the present, and capturing insights for the future. But you're doing it in bite-sized pieces that don't require an hour of deep contemplation. Let me walk you through each part. The first 3 minutes are for reviewing yesterday, but here's the key. This isn't a detailed diary entry of everything that happened. It's where most people waste time. Instead, I answered 3 specific questions. 1. What went well yesterday? 2. What didn't go as planned? 3. What drained my energy versus what gave me energy? I keep my answers short, usually 1 to 3 sentences per question. I'm not writing a story, I'm identifying patterns. For example, yesterday I might write, went well, finished the client proposal ahead of schedule, didn't go as planned, got pulled into too many scheduled calls, energy, drained by context switching between tasks, energized by the afternoon writing block. That's it, 90 seconds of writing, maybe 2 minutes if I'm being thorough. This simple review has been incredibly valuable. Over time, you start noticing patterns. Maybe you consistently feel drained after types of meetings. Maybe your best work happens during specific hours. These patterns become visible when you're looking for them consistently, not when you're writing the 3 pages of unstructured thoughts. The cognitive science here is solid. Writing about experiences helps your brain organize and consolidate memories, but you don't need pages of detail, you need targeted reflection. That's what makes the 3-minute review so effective. The next 4 minutes are where I plan my day, but not in the way you might think. I don't list every task I need to complete, that's what my task manager is for. Instead, I focus on 3 things. 1. What's my main priority today? Just one thing. 2. What obstacle might get in my way? 3. How do I want to feel at the end of the day? The last question is crucial. It shifts journaling from pure productivity into intentionality. Maybe today my priority is finishing a difficult conversation I've been avoiding. The obstacle might be the tendency to overthink and delay, and I want to feel relieved and lighter at the end of the day, not still carrying that weight. Writing this down takes maybe 3 minutes, but it creates something psychologists call implementation intentions. Basically, you're not just setting a vague goal, you're mentally preparing for how you'll handle challenges. Research shows this significantly increases follow-through. The question about how I want to feel might sound soft, but it's actually the most practical part. When you articulate how you want to feel, you're much more likely to make decisions throughout the day that align with that feeling. It becomes an emotional compass. I also use the section to note any energy patterns from yesterday that I want to apply today. If I felt great during a focused morning yesterday, I'll protect that time today. If afternoon meeting drained me, I'll try to schedule differently. This isn't about perfectly optimizing every day. It's about making small conscious adjustments based on what you're learning about yourself. Because if you improve yourself by 1% every day, you improved by 365% by the end of the year. Now, before I get to the third part of this routine, let me tell you about something I've put together for you. If you want to keep your journaling game on top, I've created the 5-minute morning journal that actually works, and it's completely free. This journal will get you on track on writing journals like never before. You'll never get left behind again. Most of all, you'll feel healthier than ever before. You can download it right now using the link in the description below. It's designed to work alongside the routine I'm sharing today, making it even easier to build this habit. Alright, let's go to the third and the final part of the 10-minute routine. The final 3 minutes are my favorite part, capturing one thing I've learned recently. This could be from a book, a conversation, a mistake I made, a success I had, anything. The only rule is that I have to connect it to something practical. For example, I recently wrote, learning saying I'll think about it when I mean no just delays the discomfort and makes it worse. Noticed this twice last week. Going forward, practice saying that doesn't work for me right now, in the moment. This section does something important for your brain. Research on learning and memory shows that we retain information much better when we actively process it and connect it to our lives. Just consuming information, reading articles, listening to podcasts doesn't create lasting change. But when you write about how something applies to you, you reinforce those neural pathways. A study on expressive writing found that people who wrote about failure and what they learned from them showed improved memory performance and neural processing during subsequent learning tasks. Writing about your learning literally makes you better at learning. Over a year, this section has become an incredible resource. I have a running log of insights, mistakes, and lessons I learned. When I'm facing a similar situation, I can look back and see what worked before. 3 minutes. That's all it takes to transform passive consumption into active learning. So why does this 10-minute routine work when our long journaling sessions failed for me? First, it's sustainable. 10 minutes is doable, even on the busiest days. I've done done this routine in hotel rooms, while traveling, during practically hectic work weeks, even on vacation. When something takes 10 minutes, you run out of excuses. Second, the structure removes decision fatigue. I'm not staring at a blank page wondering what to write. I know exactly what I'm doing in each section. This makes it easier to start and easier to finish. Third, it hits multiple cognitive benefits efficiently. The yesterday review helps with memory consolidation and pattern recognition. The today focus creates an intentional and implementation planning. The learning session reinforces your retention and personal growth. You're getting the benefits of reflection, planning, and learning all in 10 minutes. Fourth is just enough to be valuable without being overwhelming. The research shows that even brief periods of expressing writing, 15 to 20 minutes, provide measurable benefit. You don't need to write for an hour to see results. Finally, this routine creates a feedback loop. When you start noticing patterns in your energy and behavior, you make better decisions. When you make better decisions, you have more to reflect on. The practice reinforces itself. I'm not going to promise that 10 minutes of journaling will solve all of your problems. It won't. But it will give you something valuable, clarity about what matters to you, about what drains you, about what patterns keep showing up in your life. That clarity compounds over time. After a week, you start noticing trends. After months, you're making better decisions based on what you've learned about yourself. After a year, you have detailed a map of your own thinking, energy, and growth. The best part, you don't need a fancy journal, a specific type of pen, or the perfect environment. You just need 10 minutes and a willingness to show up consistently. Most journaling advice will tell you to write more. I'm telling you to write smarter. 3 sections, 10 minutes, every day. That's the routine that changed everything for me. Maybe it will do the same for you. Now, if you're ready to take action on this, don't forget to grab the 5-minute morning journal that actually works. Free, and it's designed specifically to help you implement what I've shared today. This journal will get you on track to writing like never before. You'll never get left behind. Most of all, you'll now feel healthier than ever before. The download link is right below this video. If you try this routine, I'd love to hear out how it works for you. And if you found this helpful, share it with someone who keeps saying they want to journal but can't never seem to make it stick. Thanks for watching, and see you in the future videos. Cheers!